Mike Lake. I'm the Member of Parliament for Edmonton-Wetaskiwin, Conservative Member of Parliament. You know what, it was 2006, actually it's back in 2005 when I made the decision. I was working for the Edmonton Oilers Hockey Club at the time. Worked there for 10 years on the business side and was really just concerned with where we were going fiscally as a country and, wanting to ensure that, the world, all of the opportunities that I had as in my mid-30s at that time, that my kids would have the same opportunities. My kids were 6 and 9 at the time that I ran. You know what, I mean, it's been 17 years, it's been a long time, and it's a real privilege to have that opportunity to serve. I think, the fact that we've managed to have about 700 or 800 constituent roundtables, and just that we've taken that real initiative to serve our constituents. In terms of policy, I served on a cabinet committee from 2012 to 2015, and that cabinet subcommittee was charged with efforts to get the budget back to balance, and in 2015 we were able to achieve a balanced budget just before the election then. And then in that same year, in 2015, was able to push for what we called the Canadian Autism Partnership, and we were able to get a couple $1 million in funding for a working group to establish a partnership. We're sitting here 8 years later, and unfortunately we still don't have a national autism strategy, but I believe that that's probably coming in the next year or so, and wouldn't have happened without bringing together these amazing stakeholders and individuals with autism from across the country who participated in that process and have for a long, long time. I think that would be one of my proudest accomplishments for sure. You know what, I love people. And, getting a chance to serve my constituents, hear what they have to say. I serve the largest constituency in the country by population by a long way. It's about twice the size of an average constituency, about 230,000 people. And getting the chance to represent them is a privilege, but then working with stakeholders from around the world, from a whole variety of different areas, and benefit from their knowledge, try to use that knowledge to make life better for people, both in our constituency and across the country and around the world. It's very motivating, very energizing. You know what, before I was a member of Parliament, I don't think that I realized the 24/7 nature of the role. I don't think I realized the opportunity that you could have in the House of Commons to do just about anything that you want to do to help people, regardless of whether you're sitting in the front benches of the government or the back benches of the opposition. As a Canadian Member of Parliament, you can reach out to anyone in the world and ask for a meeting, and you're not out of place. They might not say yes, but you're not out of place in asking for that meeting on that thing that you're passionate about. And so we just have this tremendous privilege as members of Parliament to truly have an impact if we grasp how well respected our country is, and what a great opportunity the role as a member of Parliament offers us. Yeah, working across party lines is really important. I think it's something that we missed during COVID, that opportunity to just have a conversation, walk. It's very common when we're in person in the House of Commons to walk across the floor while debate's going on in some other place of the House, and just sit beside a colleague from another party, have a conversation about whatever it is that you're both working on or just about life. Currently, actually, it's good timing to ask this question because currently Michael Coteau and I are working on a national autism strategy. We picked up a bill that originated in the Senate where Leo Husakos and Peter Beam worked on it in the Senate across party lines. And now I'm working on it with Michael Coteau, a Liberal, and working to try and get it through the House of Commons, and working with NDP colleagues and Bloc colleagues as well to try and make sure that the legislation is as strong as it can be and is going to benefit Canadians living with autism. I think the biggest challenge to democracy today is how we talk to one another. I think that level of civility, and I'm not just talking about members of parliament, I'm talking about Canadians and people around the world in general. It seems as though everybody is coming to every conversation now with talking points already, and they've made up their minds. No one is coming to a conversation open to being persuaded. No one is even coming to a conversation with a goal to persuade somebody. It's just this constant bombardment on social media, and I think that we have to get to a place where we're, as we approach our conversations, where we're listening to what the other person's saying, trying to understand. I think it's really, really important that we focus on, when we're going into a conversation where we think that we're going to disagree with someone up front, we're coming from very different positions. My goal is to approach that conversation trying to understand why the person believes what they believe. And I find that that's a healthier place to be than just walking into that conversation ready for a fight. Right? We have to try to understand each other, even if we don't come to the same come to an agreement on the direction we want to go. I mean, I think what gives me hope for the next generation is the fact that I get to meet so many people from the next generation. I have a 23-year-old daughter who's in second-year law school. I have a 27-year-old son who has autism, and connecting with them and hearing from their friends and hearing from people about their age. I hire a lot of staff who are fairly young, more in their generation than mine. And the belief that young people have today in the fact that they can change the world is really inspiring. There's just this, really shines through, it really jumps out when you're having a conversation with a young person. And so if we can, harness that and work together, I can share my experience and combine my experience maybe with their enthusiasm and their own experience. I think that it's something that working together, we can recognize tremendous benefit that's going to benefit my generation, going to benefit the next generation, and going to benefit generations down the road as well. If I could go back and talk to myself at 16, I think it would be to tell myself that everybody is going through stuff. Whatever it is that I'm going through, I've learned through experience that other people are going through their own things. Many, many people have the same questions, the same doubts that I might have had at 16 years old. At 16, you think you're the only one that's feeling the way that you're feeling, but there are a lot of people that are feeling the same way. And then I would probably encourage my 16-year-old self to talk about it a little bit more, to be open to sharing, knowing that there's other people that will benefit from that sharing as well. So not only do I benefit from having those conversations, but they do as well. And so, I think it just, with time, with experience, life experience, you gain some perspective that's important. I wish I could go back and share that with myself back at 16.